Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter. Cheers.
Cheers, Prost.
Prost. Prost, everybody. Welcome back to the 1 Liter Podcast.
Traditional style, we got the fucking beers back.
We got the German beers back.
No seltzers.
It's only the Uberbrau, you know? The ones we told you were the cheaper ones. But it's very, very good.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time you saw a commercial for a beer? Like sometimes you get the quirky ones where it's like, you know, Hans Superdry and there'll be a bunch of mates doing something and it's elaborate.
I don't even recall because the last ad I saw was the Are You Sick of Beer? The Canadian Club.
Right.
Yeah, the anti-beer ads.
Yeah. I tell you what, I reckon if you just did a commercial with someone pouring a hot beer, it's like, it's a bloody hot day. Why don't you treat yourself to Uberbrow?
Oh.
I reckon if I was watching that, I'd be like, Uberbrow, oi, you boys, let's fucking grab one of those. You got it on tap. I saw that on the TV.
Yeah, get the Uberbrau.
Uberbrow for fast, effective relief.
Have you...
The thirst maker. The thirst quencher.
Have you seen that, you know how we mentioned that bloke in a bar beer? He does a podcast. Have you seen that around yet?
No, not yet.
I've seen it at a couple bars now, and I've had it. It's quite a good lager. It's quite a
good lager.
yeah, it's quite a fruity lager.
I travelled 30,000 miles, slayed a dragon. I must say, it's quite a good lager.
Philip Geet, everyone, the master of depthful contemplation.
Contemplation.
That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to try that beer though. If we're
The
out,
bloke at a bar beer, if you see it, get
that's
one.
what it's called, bloke at a bar beer.
Yeah, so it's a brown, the can is brown, or the logo is brown with yellow writing. It just says bloke in a bar.
Bloke at a bar. Okay.
Probably getting his podcast wrong. Bloke at a bar, bloke in a bar.
Sorry, dudes. In the topic of commercials, there's a TikTok and it's like a popular thing going around. It's like a video of a guy, and it's like, I've never seen a commercial for microwaves, and that's true.
Really?
I've never seen a commercial for a microwave, like not even a Fisher and Paykel. Like I've
Is
seen.
that because the technology is just too old and
No,
the
it's
microwave commercials were like the 70s? When was the microwave invented?
Good point. But I think it's something different. I think it's the fact that they're so required that, like, you never see a commercial about Mount Franklin water because everyone drinks fucking water. You don't need to publicize water, right? You could like Fiji could publicize it because Fiji bottles are you pay $5 for a bottle of Fiji, but you're like, hey, I got a fucking Fiji. But I think the microwave's so required. It's just like it's a staple that you don't need a fucking commercial. You just walk in, you're like, hey, I just moved to a new apartment. Give me a fridge, a washing machine, and a fucking
You know what?
washing machine.
Commercials are stupid. Washing machines. Do you remember like I think it was Samsung washing machines or something, and they'd have like stupid commercials where they're all on these big like posts or something, and the washing machine's sitting on top, and the two next to it are like shaking and they fall off, and then the one washing machine's like, yeah, I'm so balanced, bro.
Yeah. give me fucking 2 more years and I'll be like the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna last.
But I mean, it's flashy publicism, dude. It's cool. But here's another funny thing. Just off the top of the dome. When you were a kid, did you ever do stupid shit, especially in the kitchen? Like, did you ever put knives in, like, I never put a knife or a fork into like a wall socket, but when I was really young, we had a dodgy toaster, and while it was still on, the toast would stick to the side of it and start to burn. I put the knife in all the time and fish it out while it's still
Just
on.
a butter knife, the one that's pure metal with no wooden handle or plastic handle.
And it was only, I did it maybe about 60 times. And I remember one time I was like being real, like, I'm done this so many times. And zap myself.
Did you actually?
Yeah. And I went, oh, fuck, I'm never doing that again. And I never did.
Shit.
You ever do weird shit like that as a kid?
No. I don't remember that, but zapping brings up a story. This is actually probably quite traumatizing for me. I had a female friend. We would have been like kindergarten age, right? Our parents were friends. and we go to her house and we're just playing and we're just being imaginative, like kids, you know, finding objects and be like, yeah, what's this? Oh, throw me a rope and stuff. The rope was a cord from an iron that had like broken off, and they'd cut it off, the iron, and it still had the plug on it. And us kids were like, oh, look at this cord. What do we attach this to? The socket. Plug this thing into the wall socket with a live open end in a house. So like, what's
Fire.
Germany? 240 volt. Not fire. My friend is holding this socket and she goes, ah, and she's playing and she goes, ah, and grabs the end. I'm standing like,
You and me away.
yeah, you and me away. She grabs the end. She just goes, ah! And I was like, oh, shit. And my mum ran in and the parents ran in. They're like, oh, shit. And I had to like yank the cord out of her hand.
Were they getting
And her-
zapped too?
Nah, they just yanked it and it just...
Was she really just like into like,
She
it's
like
a
she
bit
wasn't
loud.
like doing like the movie, but she was like screaming like like it was seizing her hand and like burning it. I remember seeing
Searing
like
it.
red like on her hand. And I was
So-
like, oh god, what just happened?
so the electric was keeping her hand seized up and the heat of it was burning her hand.
Yeah.
That's torture.
That's torture.
Wow.
So she was, yeah, the electricity would have made her muscles just contract and just hold onto it harder, and it was just earthing out through her body.
Oh, dude.
That is dangerous stuff. She could have died.
Fuck yeah.
I witnessed that. I just remember that now because you said you zapped yourself on a toaster.
What's her name?
Jessica.
Frau Jessica. I hope you're doing well, Jess. Hope you're
She's
doing all
fine.
right.
She actually visited Australia one time when she was on holidays.
Any chance to just get that dinky, you know? Oh, true. Did you catch up with her? Oh, like, was because she's a friend of your family, so
Yeah.
they're
So
still in
she stayed
communication.
at our family house. Yeah. She
Yeah.
came and visited.
How's she looking these days?
And I was like,
Just kidding.
I was like, hey, I don't even remember you. It's like kindergarten.
True. Yeah, no, I remember.
Oh, yeah, can I just?
Yeah.
Do you want me to drop some commercial science about
Okay.
commercials? So, you know how you said like commercials, how some of them are wacky and some of them are like stupid, and so commercials back in the early days, it was like, hey, look how cool it is to smoke this brand of cigarette. Buy this brand of cigarette. It's the cool people to smoke it. Then that got too old for our psyche. So then companies started thinking, okay, how do we do this? And they started going the tact of let's make fun of ourselves and make people seem silly that use our products. Now that sounds counterintuitive, but it works, and we all know it works, but we don't know why. When you're watching a commercial, for instance, this is in a book I just read, but for instance, the Pepsi commercial, a guy rolls up in this van or something, and he's drinking Pepsi, and he's got a microphone, and he's just broadcasting the sound of him like slurping Pepsi, and all the people on he's at a beach, and all the people on the beach are like, "What is that sound coming from that van?" And they all just like, "Oh, I'm so silly. I'm gonna follow that sound. I want some Pepsi," and they all get Pepsi off him. So when you're watching that, your brain's going, look at these silly people wanting Pepsi. Like, you separate yourself from the silly people that want Pepsi, but that actually turns out it puts you in the most vulnerable state where you think you're above wanting the product, and you're just going to go, oh, that's stupid. Go to the shops. What do? Buy some Pepsi or another brand of soft drink if you want
And
to
we don't know
separate.
why we like that. We don't know why we're like.
Oh no,
sheep.
we do. It's all to do with like mimicking desires, like who your model of desire is, and if you can separate yourself, you're like, oh, I'm above that.
Right, because this is the audiobook you're listening to
Yeah,
recently, right?
yeah.
That still doesn't make sense to me, but fascinating. Like for me, I guess it makes sense that, like, if I had a bunch of, if I was like I could do anything with money, right?
Mm.
Like we were talking about last podcast with Emily, it was like 6 billion. You do whatever you wanted, right? But
Mm.
I would definitely 100% every outfit I wear would be some kind of adaptation of like a Napoleonic Renaissance person, right? I'd have a big coat. I'd have gold chains on every finger. I'd have a gold necklace. I'd have gold teeth. And I'd probably be like, ha ha, how y'all doing? Like, I'd still be myself.
would.
But
You
like,
would.
I would just want to be the biggest peacock I could. And I'd feel like, dude, I'd wear like a big fur coat and then no shirt on.
But who's going to want to talk to you? Like, you say you'll still be yourself, but you'll be like, look at me. I'm above all these peasants because my teeth are gold.
Well, it's like you said.
This is going down a treat.
People detaching from the silly, right? Here's the thing. I've seen this so many times. You get it all the time. You get this one person and everyone hates on this person because they're like in the spotlight at the moment, right? And that person disappears for a while. It does not even if it's a year long, and they come back, and because new people have popped up that are even like at the lame level of like, oh, they're in the spotlight right now, we hate them, and they look at this person who used to be in the spotlight everyone hated, and they said, oh, well, they're not really that bad. I mean, compared to this douche, and then people start to focus on what that person's been famous for.
Yeah.
And they find out the person's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
So it's not even just because they're going, oh, he wasn't that bad. It's just because they're going, oh
He's
my
still
God, this new
around.
person's so annoying. I wish it was back in the old days when this guy was famous. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, he was so much better. But
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the time, you were probably still thinking, oh, this is so lame. What the hell's going
Yeah,
on?
like Pitbull, for instance,
Yeah.
or like Justin Trouser Snake, or like even Justin Bieber. Like everyone at the time was like, or Backstreet Boys was like, everyone was like, this is so fucking loserish and lame. Now, like at the club, if people are dancing and someone plays bye 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 bye,
Bye, bye.
everyone's like, I secretly know all the moves for some reason,
Oh, NSYNC. Bye, 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 bye,
Oh,
bye.
that's not Backstreet Boys.
Do you remember that's NSYNC. Do you
Yeah.
remember the video clip where they're all puppets?
Yeah.
Me, but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
I didn't know the lyrics, bro.
That's I don't, man. I don't. I used to watch Rage.
Speaking of weird shit though, like as a kid, do you remember what it was like to see crazy shit for the first time as a kid? Like
What do you define as crazy shit?
like I said,
Give it to me.
remember back in primary school that kid's kneecap was popped
Oh
off.
yeah.
And like I remember like
Traumatic shit you're
Yeah.
talking about.
or I'd meet some random kid in my school or even an adult. I think it was an adult. He was one of my dad's friends and I was like a little kid and I was like playing around and I was playing with his kid and kid's like, oh, come with me, I gotta show you something. I was like, all right, and went over and his dad's like, he's like, Dad, show him your thumb. And he's like, he's like, thumb was missing, like it was just a stump.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Like being a
You've
little
never seen someone with like a
a missing
Yeah.
a missing appendage. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, when I was a young kid, a drain pipe, like someone dropped a
Oh.
drain pipe on it. And that's when as a kid, you're like, oh my God. So if a heavy metal thing with a sharp enough edge lands on one of my limbs, one of my fingers or something, I could lose it. So as a kid, you start to realize you're like, fuck, I'm not like things
I'm
can
fragile.
actually, yeah, there's things can hurt me. So like,
I don't want to lose it.
yeah, and it makes you feel weird,
Yeah.
and then you'll see like you'll be a kid and you'll play with matches and you'll burn your hand and you're like, oh, ow, fire hurts. I played with these things for so long and then it hurts, and then you learn that lesson of like, I can handle this with care, but if I'm not cautious, I'll burn myself. And we just keep doing that shit
Yeah.
until like, and then one of the ultimate tests at our age is like, can you get into this giant metal thing with wheels and drive it around? And that's like that's the next step. I feel like once a kid gets a license, he's like, you're a fucking adult now. Welcome.
That's like a level.
Yeah.
That's like a level of
Yeah.
you're playing a game of life and you're like, I'm gonna level up. You know
you
when
can drive
first-
on the roads. Yeah, you don't have to be a burden to your parents or like public transport, right?
But how wild is it? You first get in a car and you're literally like, oh God, I've turned the wheel too much. Oh, if I accelerate and I'm turning, it's like, whoa, what's going on? And now you're just like, oh, I gotta go to the shops. You gotta go to the shops. Who's texting me?
Yeah.
Just gotta.
Yeah, accelerate just with my big toe. You know, like
Let me just overtake this guy steering with my knee.
yeah, I spilled my fucking coffee. You know, dude.
We don't even think about it.
I know. That's nuts. But like, so first it's like physical things, and then it's like things that you need. Like something was funny was like back in school. Back in primary school, especially high school, dude, I didn't really have a phone. Like I always had a mobile phone.
Oh, can we talk about phones?
But I didn't give two shits about it, dude. Like I never used it, never cared. And then once I got out of school, and then I realized, oh, I need a phone for work. And then eventually you realize you're like, oh, I need a phone with internet so I can start transferring money and like get on my emails and stuff.
Is that how you got into phones?
Yeah.
I feel like I was more like, I need a phone, man. I got to put credit on it so I can text and call people. This is like in high school, but I feel like you had a luckier high school if you didn't care about phones.
I was clean. I didn't.
Wow.
I never thought I'd get a phone. Never cared. I was
What was your first phone?
was free. My first phone was the Nokia, the Coca-Cola Nokia. You remember the red and white one?
The Coke
The
phone.
Coke phone back in year 7.
Why was it the Coke phone? Did it come with Coca-Cola?
No, I think it was like you win it or something like that. But I
Yeah,
had
how
it,
did
and
you-
it was just like you could play the game. Remember the snake, and it gets
Yeah, of
bigger
course,
each time it
of
eats the
course.
apple. I think I had that up until
It was a
year 8.
Motorola, wasn't it?
It was Nokia. It was
The
fucking.
Coke phone was Motorola.
It was fucking Nokia, bro.
What? No, look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Coke phone. Just type in Coke phone. It'll come up for sure. I'm pretty sure it was Motorola. Here we go. The moment of truth.
Nokia Coke phone, dog.
No,
was
is that the one you had? That's not the one you
No,
had.
no.
You're talking red and white.
Yeah, maybe it was a Motorola.
Motorola. Show me the Coke phone.
I don't even remember.
Find him.
I don't even remember what my one was after that, but we all got like the laser. Oh, you're right. It was
Yes.
a fucking Motorola.
And it was a Motorola because I remember we had the Nokias, the 3315, the strongest phone of all time. Have you seen those meme videos?
like nothing could destroy it. Nuclear
It's
fallout
sitting, on
brick.
it's sitting on a train track, and then it's just footage of a train just going derailed.
I love it, dude. I love that shit.
Oh man!
All right, so I can't remember. I think the only phone I remember, I probably would have had hand-me-downs from my brothers or my parents or whatever. But and then I got like the laser flip phone, and then after that I got like Samsung something like X8 or something back in the day,
X8,
something crazy. And then
Samsung.
no, not Samsung, bloody Galaxy.
Yeah, Samsung Galaxy something.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Was
Early
that
on.
your first smartphone? Touchscreen, full touchscreen?
Yeah.
Ah,
And then after that,
mine
it was
a
like-
HTC.
Mine was a HTC as well.
Yeah. I had the
Samsung
one with
HTC?
HTC was his own brand, but it was the one with the brown back that I had. It was a weird one.
I had a HTC as well, dude. It was a black back.
Did you ever have the
But it was
the
Android.
slide up
It was
ones?
Android. That's what it was.
Yeah, they were all Android.
I knew people who had that. I had the.
I had them.
Yeah.
Two of them, the Nokias. One was the brown one.
Yeah.
And then one was this nice like stainless steel silver casing, and I was like, look at me.
Dude.
This is the typing.
Yeah. Bruh. My mum got a BlackBerry.
Yeah. I
And
never got into them.
Likewise, but somehow she got a second one, and she gave it to me. So I had a BlackBerry for like 2 years, like a proper. I'm such
The
an
full
idiot.
keyboard.
I'm so sorry. You're saying you had a flick phone? I did. It was a fucking
Oh,
BlackBerry.
you had the sideways flick
I had
though.
that sideways
Oh,
black dude.
I'm talking the lengthways up and down.
Oh no. And I remember sometimes I would get chicks, even in the grades in your grade, they'd look at me and be like, "Oh yeah," and they'd talk to me, and I'd be like, "Why are they talking to me?" It's because I had a bougie fucking phone, bro.
That guy really knows how to type with a full keyboard
Yeah.
on his telephone,
Yeah.
on his mobile phone.
I was happy to get rid of that fucking thing. That thing was horrible, bro.
Dude,
I hated it. But
Did
iPhone's
you-
been good for me since.
do you ever lose a phone?
You know what? No, I've never lost
Or
a phone
complete
or a wallet.
destruction?
Touch
wood.
wood.
I've lost a phone.
That must be horrible.
It was at a party.
You got dick pics and titty pics on there.
No, it was the old slide up
Right.
school party, house party. Turns out I didn't even know at the time these dumb shorts that I was wearing, probably some stupid punk shorts, had a hole in the pocket, and it would have just worked its way big enough for my phone to just slip through, and I'd just put it down. And thinking back, once I'd realized my phone was gone forever, I was like, I remember putting my phone in the pocket and feeling a thud right next to my foot and didn't take any notice of it. And I was like, that's where it fell. I even know exactly where it was in that yard, but
Felt it, yeah.
a yard full of dumb high school aged kids, someone would have been like, I'm keeping this forever.
Did it have a lock?
I hope so.
Dude, they would have just been clowning you. There would have been pictures of you with your abs for sure, and they would be like, look at this fag. Yeah.
Oh
Fucking
no,
hell.
don't say that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's probably nothing worse than what I put on MySpace myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Did I ever tell you about the time? Oh, so There was this chick in my grade. I think her name was Emma, not Collins. Hey, Emma. Her name was Emma. She was like I think her name was Emma. She had a big nose and she was a redhead and she was like not very easy on the eyes, right? And she had a party one night and like me and my friend G'd up to go and do it. Is when I was dating the Little Mermaid at the time. And the funny thing is the Little Mermaid lived right around the corner. She lived right around literally, like if you walked across the street from your place and then went around a corner, it was there. So like,
Right.
So like me and my mate was like, I think it was like Saturday or Friday night. Me and my mate were like, yeah, we'll go. And he came around to mine and then we're going to go from mine. I think I was going to like borrow money off my parents to buy a cab or something. Like I was always
To
last
buy a
minute.
cab.
Dude, I was scared. I was like, I never felt comfortable asking my parents for shit. They'd always make me feel guilty. So like I'd always ask at the last minute to put them on the spot. So I was like, my mate's there and we're hanging out and shit. And then my parents come over and I was like, hey, we're going to go to a party tonight. My parents are like, no, you're not. You didn't give us a warning. You're not going to a
You
fucking
did give
party.
us warning to leave?
Yeah. So I was like, fuck. Okay. And I went and told my mate. My mate was bummed. I was like, bro, relax. We're going. It's all good. And then like everyone went to bed. And then like me and my mate snuck out of my window. We fucking ran. Like literally hiked and jogged. It was like the fittest time of my life. Like I was like, that's like fucking hard. Mate, I ran from Logan home, from you know where I live, all the way to fucking Logan, like practically Woodridge. Like Logan Lee Woodridge.
Damn.
Do you know
to
where?
get to a party.
To get to a party. And here's the thing, bro.
So
I had I think we were like I was with my brother or something like that. And when my brother first got his license, we were hiking somewhere and we were running and I ran and I slid and I like got this massive gravel rash down my ass. Like it was bad. Like it was like torn
were your
gash.
pants torn?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, I was fucked.
Dude.
I was probably in like boardies or something, you know,
Yeah.
the clothing ran. Dude, I literally had like my art, it was like real bad. These were like jagged sharp. It was like so I had like a gash on my ass, a couple of like scrapes. So it was hard to sit down at the time. So me and my mate are running and we were literally like jogging like joggers. We're like, bro, we're going to get to this party sick. And like, we're all jazzed up.
Sweaty and
Cologned
shit.
ourselves. We were fucking sweaty at that point. As we're running along, we run past a fucking caravan park. Like it's an actual caravan
I know the
park.
caravan park, yeah.
You know the one across the road from the Hyperdome? Yeah, near that motel, sleazy motel. And I went, oi, bro. I'm not going to say my mate's name. I said, I knew. I've driven past that place in my life. I've never been in there, but I fucking instinctively know. I was like, oi, bro, stop. He's like, what? I was like, and he and I were like a bit of a rough kids. Like we had done some shit. So I was like, oi, I reckon there's a fucking bike in there. Let's steal it. It was like caravan. It was like 20 caravans. The first caravan where it was like dark, people were in their bed. It was probably like 9 o'clock. First caravan we walked in and turned. It was a fucking bike right there.
Bicycle.
A kid's BMX bike, but like a high school kid's bike right there. Not chain, nothing. We were just like grabbed it.
Two of you on this
stunt
bike.
pegs on the bike too. So we're like
Oh,
boom,
damn.
boom. And like so I'd be riding and then we'd swap. Because we'd be fucked, man. We're like two kids exhausted. And every time I'd sit down, my ass would cane on the seat. And I'd be like,
You should have been the one standing on the pegs.
oh, bro, it hurt too. So
Yeah.
like I rode for about I must have rode for like 25 minutes straight. He was like, bro, do you want to swap? I was like, no, I got this. My ass is stinging. My missus is at this party. She keeps texting me. She's going to leave soon. Her parents are telling her to come home. Fuck this.
The Little Mermaid's at the party, man.
We get to a point where my mate, I keep going to say his name. He's like, no, I'm just going to hop off and ride the rest of the way there. You got to get there early. I was like, sick. I was probably about 5 minutes ahead of him, rode. He was like, running. At this point in time, he had taken his shirt off and we both had our shirts wrapped around our pants. We're fucking, I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I get to this party and at the time I was lifting weights, so I was a bit stocky. I get to the party, ride and just go vroom, slide the bike into this front. There's probably like 100 people in this place. So they would have just seen this shirtless dude rock up, let his bike fall wherever, doesn't care who picks it up. And I was just like fucking strolled in. All the people I knew from high school there and I was just like popping up.
What's up?
Dapping them, chucked my shirt and I was like, oh, where's my missus? And they were like, she just left.
Oh, no.
I was like, I bet. I know where she lived. Texted her, I was like, hey, I called her, I was like, yo, I came on this way, I wanted to see you. What's up? And she's like, all right, I'll come out. And she like, I walked around to her place, it was like a minute. And then she was like, waited at the front, I was all quiet, and then was like, comes out, and I was just like, hey, girl. I was like, I was like, yeah, can I come in? And she's like, no, my pants here. I was like, you want to come out? She's like, no. I was like, fuck! I went back to the party. It was a sick party, dude. But here's the thing. So my mate that I came with, his old man was a hard ass too. And his old man was like, I'm picking you up from this place tomorrow. If you're not there, if you've gone out to a party, something, you're fucked. So he lied to his parents too, right?
Oh, at your place, picking him up from yours. Oh, damn. So you got to get back there.
Exactly. So we're hanging out for a bit, and then like we were like every now and then we'd be partying, and then he would come over to me because he was scared of his old man. His old man was like a big Kiwi fella. He was like, oh bro, fuck, maybe we should leave soon, man. We got to get back. I don't know how we're gonna get back. We had like $10, and I was like, fuck, bro, just chill. I'll tell you what. And our mate of ours at school was like, we can stay at his. And a bunch of other people were going to go back to his as well. It was like, we were like early stages of like high school. We were like, fuck, bro, like we're not going to bail on this. Like a dude's invited us back. It's probably going to be chungos and shit. I want to try this shit. I want to be a kid, you know? He was like, I was like convincing him. I was like, bro, we'll chill at his. We'll stay at his till like 4 a.m. and then we'll do the same thing. We'll run
4
back.
a.m. and run back.
We'll run back. It's all good. And he's like, what if your parents wake up before then? I'll be like, we'll just pretend we went out.
Dude,
All the shit.
dude, how much energy did we have back in high school?
It's crazy.
Just at a party, 4 a.m. and you're like, hell, let's just walk home. Let's just jog home.
Yeah. I walked home.
And all you did was have like some beers. Like it wasn't even hardcore back then. Or maybe a bong or something that someone brought to the party
and 2
in
beers.
a Powerade bottle.
Yeah.
And 2 beers. You're like,
two
I'm
stolen
sloshed.
beers, maybe a shot of whiskey, and you're just like, but dude, we were like, and then we'd still get up and be like, fucking, you know.
Yeah. We'd get up and we'd go to bed at like 6, get up at 8, 2 hours sleep. We're like, what's up?
And we'd be fresh. You'd be like, all right, what's good?
Ready for Saturday. Yeah, let's do it. This was a Friday. Standard.
So we're hanging with this dude, right? And this dude's like, hey, everyone come back to my, he's a good friend. He was like one of the popular dudes in my grade. So like, do you know when you got to high school, there were already dudes in your grade that were already popular? And you were like, everyone looked up to that guy.
And you're like, how?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Because they were just...
You've just got to year 8. How does that happen? Just tell me. Is it because they came to the school with... Or they had an older brother that's already out the school, or a massive group of people from like the primary school that was the closest.
I'd say that and charisma.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't happen instantly, even if it was charisma.
You know what it was? Maturity.
Ah.
It's maturity. Those who are a bit more mature, so we maybe think they're cool, but they were just a bit more mature. So we'd be like kids like, yeah, and they're just like, why are you doing that? And all the other kids would be like laugh at you because they'd be like, yeah, he's a popular one. He's so cool. Like
you'd be like, and they're like, ha 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 ha. And this guy's like, yo, why are you doing that? And they're like, oh,
yeah,
yes, sir.
You understand?
Why is he doing that? I don't know.
You understand?
Whose side do I need to be on?
Yeah,
this kid seems smart.
So
he knows something I don't.
You have to learn to like pull yourself down, and that's when you learn to be like an adult, right? You're like, I can't be playing games anymore.
Again, you're just learning from the mistakes, like as a child.
Exactly.
I did touch the stove. The stove was on.
Yeah. Dude, I did that. I think my mum was cooking like bacon and eggs, and like I was like a bit tall enough to like look down at the bacon and eggs. It was like this high, and I remember putting my arms on the edge of the hot plate, and it was like,
oh, your
and it was like 2 stings. I was like, ah! My mum was like, under hot water, cold water now.
Dude.
Yeah. Look, anyway, so
I remember there was a boiling, I think, pot of water. So I like to tell this story when I tell people that I can't grow a beard. Pot of water, and I like pulled it down and it like splashed into my face. And that's why I can't grow a beard on my right side.
Damn,
that's what
bro.
I like to tell myself, that it's scarring. I don't know, or I just don't have the genes for a beard.
dude, beards suck. Don't even think about it.
Beard sucks, says the guy growing out this nice stubble. He's like, yo, what's up?
Beards suck, bro.
I'm a hipster. I got a beard. What's up?
I'm not a hipster. Fuck, I'm not a hipster.
You didn't like that?
No, I just realized. I was like, oh god, I'm done.
What?
But anyways, this story is actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's cool.
So this dude's like come back to mine. It was like me and like 6 other people and my mate. We're like going back to his. He's still stressing out. He's stressing me out. But I'm like, it's all good. Look, if I get home,
Got to get back.
If my reasoning was if I get home early in the morning, and my parents are like, what the fuck, were you out or not? I'd be like, no, we we just left like real early in the morning because we were just like kids, we're high school kids, and we were just hanging out at the park. And they'd probably be like, all right. So that was my reasoning, right?
Oh yeah, you were gonna tell them you left your own place
Really
early to go to the park.
Yeah. That was,
And hang out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my fucking reasoning.
Yeah.
so my mate's like, oi, bro. He's like, oi, everyone, we're at this party here. He's like, it's only like 5 minutes away. Bro, this place was like 20 minutes. We were walking up hills, down hills, alleyways, streets, and we're all at this point in time, we're like, you fucking cunt, what's going on? we get to this dude's place. We're all being loud and shit. He's showing us around, and then his fucking grandparents come out. It's his grandparents' house.
It's his grandparents' house.
And they're like, what? They're like, these people, it's so late. What's going on? Like, and he was like, come on, just fucking go back inside, guys. Please, just fuck off. And they're like, and he was like, don't you talk to your grandmother like that. And it was like a scene, and everyone was like, this is fuck. Like,
we gotta go,
and then he managed to calm it down, and then everyone was like doing their thing, and then my mate was like, fuck, he's like, yeah, everyone, you can crash here. He had all these beds and shit in his place. He's like,
What?
and my mate's like, bro, we better go to sleep now if we're gonna get up early. I was like, dude, you're being such a fucking loser right now. Chill. And then we were chilling, and then like we probably chilled for about 10 minutes, and I was like, no, this is fucking cruise if you're gonna act crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Again, this is like early stage when like kids were first going to parties, so we were like still new to the whole socializing and thing.
Dude,
So we left.
house parties, man.
Yeah.
What happened to them? Do they still exist? Do they still exist like they did
for cool people and
back in?
hipsters.
Yeah, and hipsters.
Yeah.
Joel goes to them all the time.
So we.
Do they exist though?
I don't know.
Do you remember how
were the
much
best.
they existed when we were in high
dude,
school?
they were everything.
Everyone was having one. Every weekend there would be a house party.
Yeah.
And then you would get the text of an open house. Or actually, I don't
Open houses were probably funner, dude.
I don't think I ever got the text. I think it was always mates of mine that got
yeah.
They were hooked up somehow. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, there's an open house on this and this street. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know where that is. And I
There's
have my
gonna be
license.
some
I'm like,
cunts from Rochdale there. We might get into a scrap, so like, be ready.
no, I don't think I was in that
We were
group,
always,
but
we were
yeah.
always, we were in the be ready to fight group.
Be ready to fight.
But we never fought anyone.
I
We
was
got
just
there and
in
we were
the-
like dapping everyone up because we'd get there and there'd always be one friend I'm with who played footy with another friend. They'd be like, "Fucking Jono can," and then like Jono's 12 friends and my 6 friends would like mingle,
And you're like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, dip. Yeah.
Whereas I was just a guy like driving there. I'm like, yeah, we're going to this house party.
Yeah, you're the responsible one.
Nah, but open house parties though. I always felt a little bit guilty because I was like, there's no parents that are letting you do this. So whose house are you ruining right
Yeah.
now? Because it was gonna get ruined.
Dude, we trashed places, and it wasn't deliberate. You just get to a place and it was already trashed, and you'd be like, okay, and then you drink, and then you just be like, drop a cup and walk out. Like it was just like, oh, good luck, lady.
Yeah.
And you'd always see the person. You'd eventually find out who owns the place, and then you'd see the friends who are kind of keeping that. Here's a fucked up thing about parties. The person who held the party was always the drunkest. Right?
And his mates that are like close to
Dude,
his
calm
family
down,
are,
calm down.
like, this is out of control, man.
Yeah.
They're the ones stressing out
You
the guy
knew they were the
having it.
cunts.
He's like, oh, it's chill. Yeah. Oh, chill, nah.
And that you knew those worried people were the ones who had to pick up the cup. So you're always
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fuck you, I'll finish the story. Because it was a nice circle story, right? So we're like, all right, we'll leave. It's probably like 1 a.m. in the morning. We'll leave. We'll try to get home before anyone wakes up. So me and like a couple other people were like, oh, we're gonna get a cab to Springwood Station. Who wants to come? We had like I think of me and like my friend, a dude, and another dude. We managed to scrounge like $10.50, right? So we caught it to Springwood, and that was everything. The cab driver was like, "Yep, no, that's it. I'm not going to take you anywhere else. $10. That's all you give me. Fuck you."
That's all you got.
Oh,
yeah.
and that night as well, on the way to that dude's place, one of the guys I was with, who was in the cab with us in the end, was like, "I need to take a shit." And we were walking past the Springwood deal. So you got Springwood bus station, and then you got the car dealerships, and then on the other side is basically where this party was. This dude like dropped his DAC, stood up on one of the cars in the lot, dropped his DAC, shat on the car, and then used fucking newspaper to wipe his ass, bro. Like he found a newspaper right near the car, and he was like, perfect. So it was a sick night already, and we were just like, oh yeah, sick. So anyways, We get in a cab. We arrive at Springwood Station. All the buses are closed that night.
Oh,
They're done. It's,
because
it's the last
they
bus.
shut off, didn't they?
They shut off, yeah. And it was 1 a.m. So we were like,
I remember that
Well-
sucked when we started going out in the city.
yeah.
In Brisbane City, once you get to, I can't remember what the time was, 2 o'clock or something,
yeah.
there was no more
No
bus
fucking buses.
south.
Yeah. It was like
Nothing.
$100 cab. Fuck.
Nothing.
$80,
And then,
$90 cab.
and then you had to make the choice. You were like, it's 2 a.m. I think this was when like lockout was 3 a.m. So you had to be like, you're in the club. You're like, yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah. And then you're like, I'm either going to go catch the 2 a.m. bus or I have to find whatever place I want to be in past lockout until 5:30 a.m. when the next bus comes.
Yeah.
So you had to make a choice. You're like, I either bail now or I'm in it. I'm in here
Yeah.
for the long run.
I at first I was always in it. I know exactly what you're saying. And after a
Oh.
while, like you'd be like, bro, we can make it to one more place, and you're just like umming and ahhing because like you've been.
It's like 2:45. The place
Yeah.
is a 15-minute walk away. You're like, we're going to get there within minutes of lockout.
Yeah. You get
What if
there
the
and it's-
line's too long?
Yeah, the line was always too fucking long, bro. So we're at this bus stop.
Yeah.
At this point in time, we're exhausted, drunk as fuck.
Mm.
And we're like, fuck, we got to walk from Springwood to Logan home. Fuck. All right, yeah. Let's just sit at the bus stop for a while. Maybe a bus will come.
Maybe a bus will
At this
come.
time, at this point in time, we're all like, me and my mate, we're kind of like, fuck. Like, dude, my mate was a hard cunt. Like, he was a hard kid, dude. Like,
But he
a
was
good fighter.
scared that he needed to be home.
His old man was a psycho.
Yeah.
His old man was an ex-kickboxer. He was a fucking psycho, bro. Kiwi.
Mm.
White Kiwis. But like,
Mm.
you know? And so out of nowhere, one of the dudes we were with, the dude who took a shit in the car, he was like, I'm just gonna walk home, fellas, see you later. He walks up, and this dude from the party rocks up, who went to our high school, he's a year above, rocks up, and the dude took who shit on the car, knew him, and they were chatting. And the guy who rocks up's like, bros, he's like, I've been drinking, but I fucking left. I was like, I want to drive home. I left my car back at the party, and I thought I'd walk home because I'm drunk as fuck, but I want to drive home. If you guys walk with me, I'll give you a lift home if you just drive in the car with me. We were like, done. So we had to walk back from Springwood to Woodridge to this party. It was probably about, and this is at the time when the guy shat on the car.
You may as well have just walked home.
Yeah. So we walk back. We get into his car. He had like a sick ute, like 5-seater. We hopped in, and he was like, I was like, bro, can you take me back to, and I gave him the address of where I lived. He's like, yeah, I'm going that way anyways. It was divine. We went to a party, it was sick. I got to see my woman. We just fucking around, and then we got a fucking golden ticket home, dude.
Golden ticket.
The dude drove us back, dropped old mate off, and then drove us back, and he was model driver. We drove all the way, just about maybe 600 meters before my house. We're driving down this hill. Fucking cop car pulled over. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. No, dude's got red peas on. The guy's gonna get pulled over. He's over the limit. We're fucking drunk high school kids. This dude's gonna lose his license for 10 years. We're driving, and the cops are like talking to someone. And then he's like, oh, fuck. And then I was like, dude, turn down this fucking street. And he knew the streets as well. So he turned down, did a loop around these couple of streets, parked
Should
in
have
front
just
of
parked. Yeah,
parked
he
in front of
did.
his rent hub, turned everything off. And I was like, bro, thank you so much. Like, hopped out of the car, walked down the street. My house is right there. So I was like,
Nice.
so got in, crept back in the house.
What time is this?
I was probably 2 a.m. in the morning. But
Yeah.
it was just,
So sweet. You still had time to sleep.
yeah, it was just a fun adventure, dude. But it was just
That's
like,
awesome.
those were the fun things about high school, is like, you'd meet new people, and like things always worked out, you know?
I feel like you were just like out and about. Like the parties just made you be like, hey, I don't know these people. And you just met people. It was like before the times of phone. Like it was phone to organize the meet,
But-
not just phone to be on phone.
But you wouldn't sit on the phone, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now it's like, oh, I could meet up with someone or I could just chat to them on
Yeah.
the line.
Yeah. Like, dude, you had
Bad.
to, like, it would be like fucking early hours in the morning, and you'd be sitting out, and anyone, like, you'd rock up to a party, and then you didn't know anyone and everyone would leave and then it'd just be you and like, or you'd leave with randoms and it'd just be you and like 6 other people in a random backyard
I love
in
it.
the suburbs with those like see-through tables.
Yeah, the glass tables
with
with,
the
like-
with the fucking
Yes,
umbrella.
the umbrella hole.
Yeah, the umbrella hole, but no umbrella. And like there'd be like
plastic chairs.
Yes, 6 plastic chairs and then like
Yes.
a couple more that weren't actually a part of the feng shui.
It's a meme. How many D&Ms have you
Yeah.
had with random
Yeah.
people around one of these
Yeah.
tables?
And you just sit there and there would be no phones. You'd just be like, fucking blah, and then like you just have crazy drunk chats.
crazy drunk
And then
chats.
like you'd be like, oi fuck, we're being too loud. It's like the sun's coming up. And then like it was just good
Oh,
times, bro.
so good. You know what that reminds me of? The movie Bad Neighbors. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Zac
with
Efron.
Zac Efron and shit,
yeah,
yeah.
where they actually end up going to the party, and then him and Zach like bond, and they're
It's like real dope,
chatting till the morning, and they,
Yeah.
good times.
Fuck yeah.
times.
Dude, here's the thing though, like I would obviously like we both live in like tiny apartments, but I feel like if I
Now,
was
because we're in the midst of Sydney.
Yeah.
Location. We're paying for location.
yeah, we're paying hardcore fucking money. Like back in Brisbane, we'd be living like kings on these salaries.
Back in Brisbane, we would be flying private jets.
for sure. Platinum.
But it's all just in rent now. It just goes to rent. Private
It
jet,
is.
rent. We chose rent because, location.
I'm happy living here, dude. It's dope. But anyways, I think if I was making serious money and I had a nice, spacious place, I'd have house parties all the time, and it wouldn't be like couple, and maybe 2 randoms. I'd get like fucking heaps of people in. I'd have like a
Yeah.
proper high school,
Like big
Yeah.
house parties where
Yeah.
bring your friends,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Bring like at our age, you could say to people, hey, bring your good friends.
Yeah.
Like they know not to invite dickheads. They would just bring people that are a good time, and you would just have a house full of people that are just there to have a good time.
Yeah. I'd even go to the bottle shop that morning, and if I saw some cool guy talking to the bottle shop owner or some chicks, I'd be like, hey guys, I live on fucking this really
Oh,
fancy
you'd
street.
be that crazy.
Yeah, you want to come? Like, I would. Yeah,
Oh.
but obviously, like, I'd be cautious. Like, if they brought some like weird looking people who probably wield knives, I'd be like, get out.
Wield knives, yeah.
Dude,
you don't want that.
Can I
You
tell
don't
you a
want
weird story?
that. Tell me.
We might have to wrap this up soon, but on Wednesday night, because we had a public holiday Thursday,
Why did we have a public holiday? Can we just address that? We'll do your story after.
Mourning the Queen's death.
Mourning the Queen. Did you watch the funeral?
I woke up and watched it on
You woke up and watched it.
yeah
Oh,
live on my phone.
You know what that makes me feel even better. Did you know?
Because you did too.
No. 4.1 billion people apparently watched this funeral. Billion. There's 7 point something billion.
In Australia.
No, in the world.
Oh,
The
sorry.
world population.
No,
Billion.
The
We're
world
talking
population
BBB.
is 9.79 billion or something.
Nah, it's gone down.
No, it's 9 point some 9 point. Google it. Google
Let's
it.
go. The
Google
world
it.
population. World. Did you look this up recently? Do you know? World population. Nah, dude.
What?
7.75.
It was 9 when I looked recently. Fuck off.
Worldometer? Let me look at worldometer. 7.9 worldometer says. You know what that means,
I swear
Joel?
it was 9 recently. What?
I'll get back to my point. 4.1 billion people tuned into this funeral. That's more than half the population of Earth. There is a lot of population on Earth that A, wouldn't have the internet, B, live in poverty, C, don't know the Western world, probably don't know the Queen. So, the percentage of Western people that know the Queen is even larger that watched the funeral. And I didn't watch it. That makes me feel quite unique.
I didn't go out.
Am I a douche? I don't know.
I didn't go out of my way to watch it either. If it makes you feel any better, it was on. I woke up in the morning, hungover, flicked on my phone, and was like, "Oh, the Queen's funeral. It's already over. It was live 9 hours ago. I'll watch what it is." So I didn't watch.
Do you know
live.
what? Do you know what the only thing was that made me feel a little bit like, oh, maybe I should have taken a peep? One of the guys at work said, he's like, oh, did you watch the funeral? I was like, no. I was like, what? Why'd you watch it? And he's like, well, I mean, we're never going to see anything like that in our lifetime again. There's never going to be a funeral like that. And I was like, oh, but what about Charles? Charles is going to die.
Charles III.
And he's like, yeah, but they're not going to do anything near what they did for Queen E.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
Like, apparently who runs Japan? Like
The emperor.
the emperor of Japan.
Well, he doesn't run. They have a government. They have like a prime minister.
Yeah,
now,
but
like,
apparently he was there, and he doesn't go to things.
yeah, no,
or
he's
funerals.
hidden.
Apparently,
Yeah.
so there's
he's like a
never
real
going to be
thing.
another event or funeral, for that matter, that is going to be watched and televised like Queenie's death. And I was like, oh, I still don't care.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, look,
Rough.
it was I liked watching the part where the pallbearers had to like carry her upstairs, and they were like stern faced, but you could tell one or two of them was like, fuck. Like one or two of them was flustered afterwards, and I was like,
She wouldn't have weighed
I was
much.
like,
The
drop the
coffin
gun.
was probably heavier than her.
Yeah, and there was a crown there to balance too, but I was like, drop it, you cunt, I bet you. No.
Oh, wow.
No.
Whoa.
Queenie, I fucked with Queen Elizabeth. She was cool. But random story. Wednesday night after work, because we get Thursday off, I went out, had some drinks with some mates, went to a bar that sold 4X gold in Sydney on tap. It was great.
Oh, I saw you.
saw that.
Are you a big fan? Are you? And you haven't
I
had
love
that in
4X
Sydney?
Gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, well, you go to any
That's
bar.
huge.
You go to any bar in Brisbane, 4X Gold's on tap. So, anyways, we're at this bar. I'm drinking with these mates, and then there's like I look over, and there's like the table behind us is this lawyer, and he's highlighting. He had like a thick page of a case, and he was highlighting it whilst having a wine and flicking on his phone. And we just knew eventually he'd start chatting to us. It's the Aussie way. Because like we'd be chatting, we'd look over and he'd look over, we'd be like, hey man, how you going? Like he was just like, oh, hey fellas. Like
There wasn't many other people?
He was like,
or?
he was this far behind the guy I was looking at. So like
yeah.
we'd have a big laugh and he'd be like, turn around and be like, huh? So you're like, oh, we're going to chat to him eventually. You just know. And eventually he turns around, we're having a massive conversation with him. He pinches a ciggy off us. We're like chatting. He's like, I'm working on this case right now, and the fucking barrister is freaking out, and I'm like making her shit herself. Like he was super confident. He was like a hot shot, right? He's like, I've got kids and I'm a divorcee and shit. He's like real cool guy, very suave, right? Next minute I started talking about acting and stuff with the people I'm with. Like they inquired about it. I don't usually talk about acting, but I had drinks with people at work before and they found out. So like the people I was with knew I was an actor, so they'd ask me questions, and then this lawyer dude found out. Long story short, the dude got my fucking number and another dude I work with, he just wanted our numbers. And like as we were leaving
The lawyer?
as we were leaving that
What?
night, he's like, Joe, we should get a drink and we should hang out sometime. You're a really great guy. Like I want to talk to you more. And I was like, is this fucking dude like trying to hit on me or something? But he was straight as gun
There's a
barrel.
link, dude. Lawyers, actors, they do the same thing.
Exactly.
Lawyers just know the law to act by or act against.
And this is the thing. This is what I mentioned to him. This is why I'm thinking he wanted to hang out, because I said to him, I've always been attracted to law, the pageantry of it. It's theater.
Mm-hmm.
And my client deserves no less than $50,000 in compensatory damages, and no less than $20 million in impunitive damages. I rest my case. You know, it's acting.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's convincing people. I fucking love it. And I explained this to him, and he was like, so I was taking the piss, but I think that's why. But I was like, that night I was like, yeah, I'll give him a number. See him, mate. Shook his hand, said goodbye. He's a good bloke.
Yeah.
He's fucking real Aussie, like, like tap you on, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And that evening, like that night I got home, I was like drunk lying on my bed drinking water, and I got a text from him. He's like, yeah, we'll catch up, have a drink soon. I was like, why? What have I done to deserve this? Like, what is this, mate? Like, you're like a 6-figure lawyer, and I'm some fucking Joe Schmo.
He wants
marketing.
He wants to learn some acting of the old Joe.
If he wants to learn acting, bro, he's got to pay me. Like,
Bro.
get your checkbook out, look lively.
Yeah, exactly. Have you Matthew McConaughey, A Time to Kill? Do you like that movie? He's a lawyer in it.
Oh yeah, with
was his-
Samuel Jackson.
It was his very first big time movie, and he only got it by chance because Woody Harrelson was supposed to get the part, but he had played this criminal in another movie, and someone
soon.
Yeah, and someone some serial killer went out and shot a bunch of people and said that that character was his idol. So apparently they didn't want to cast Woody Harrelson because of the
Yeah.
negative connotation. So then he, by chance, got this part, and apparently the scene where he describes what happened to the girl in the movie, that was like his audition scene, and he just like absolutely nailed it. Like he just had all the emotion and everything. And I was like, that is what lawyers do every day. It's not an audition. It's literally life or death, life in prison for the rest of your life.
And money. Yeah.
Yeah. And money. We'll drag it out for as long
But
as
it's
we
also like, you know, the best.
what you guys could amicably both, okay, we'll settle the home and you both take home $50,000. Hey, John, you know I can get you more.
Yeah.
Let's drag this out as long as possible.
I can get you more.
pay me for another 2 years.
Yeah, I take
and
your
I promise
50,000.
you I'll get you more. At the end of 2 years, hey, John, I got you more. I got you $150,000. Except my bill is now $100,000, so you're still gonna get $50,000 like you were gonna get at the start, but the rest of it's going to me.
Yeah. They're fucking leeches, bro.
I don't know why they're all American.
That
I'm
wasn't-
sure there's lots of
That wasn't
Australian.
bad. That wasn't bad. Yeah. The Aussie ones aren't as interesting though. Like when I think of like a
Nah,
real
it's only because the Aussie ones aren't in movies.
true.
That's why we quote American
But
language,
can I
because we
just say-
see the drama in films.
if you watch any of my TikToks, right? I'm not into the Australiana. Like I'll play a character, a real Aussie character, and I talk like it, but I'm not like that. Yeah, fucking hey mate. Yeah, fish on the barbie, mate. Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not the Aussie you want to be in a Hollywood movie anyway. You want to be
That's
the...
how Americans portray us. We're
No,
always like that. Yeah,
no,
bro.
I'm talking... No, but yeah, okay, if they want to be like, oh, look at this classic Australian character, yes. But that's not how Aussie actors work. You want to be the Chris Hemsworth. You want to be the deep
Yeah.
voice
Yeah,
Aussie that's like, we're friends from work. You know, in Thor, when
The
he sees Hulk.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know him from work. You know, and
Ragnarok.
everyone's like, oh my god, listen to that accent. That's how Australian actors work. You don't want to play the silly
I prefer-
Australian in an
no.
American movie.
No, but that's the thing. Aussies play themselves like that. They do it all the time. Like Chris, I get it. Chris is a friend from work, but he said he had an accent on that.
He's a friend from work.
He
That's
was
how-
like-
what he says, right?
That was a bit
I
more.
got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
line
He's a
wrong.
friend from work. Hulk. Yeah, he comes out in the gladiator pit. Dude, he wasn't speaking in an Aussie accent though. He was speaking in like a British. I'm Thor.
Yeah,
British accent.
But he just puts that on. Like it's not quite British. It's very close to
What
British.
I'm saying is, Americans see us as this like, yeah, mate, how you going? And if you look on TikTok, that's how Aussies treat themselves as well. We treat ourselves like that. I prefer not all Aussies speak like that, and like I prefer look at Jeffrey Rush.
But look how you're speaking now. It's
Look- yeah.
it's distinctly Australian. If someone American watches this, listens to this, which they do, it's distinctly Australian, but it's not. We're not talking like, yeah, mate, how you going?
But we put it on. We put it on for everything.
Oh, you mean we put on the more bogan?
Yes, no,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
like
yeah.
now you're with me. Yes, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like when we do movies, when
'Cause
we do
it's funnier.
TikToks, exactly. And I'm over it. Like, look at Kate Blanchett. Look at fucking Jeffrey Rush. Look at
I don't know any of these names.
Kate Blanchett. So Jeffrey Rush is Captain Barbosa.
Oh yeah,
Aussie?
Yeah.
If you listen to Jeffrey Rush talk, he's he's not British. Sorry, that was British. Very distinct. Kate Blanchett is Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. Kate Blanchett.
I don't know.
You know.
Wait. What? Who's the wife in Bad Neighbors? We just brought up Bad Neighbors. Seth Rogen's wife. What's her name? she's-
Rose Byrne.
She's Australian, right?
Yeah, and she
talks like an Australian, but when you watch the movie, you're like, she's overdoing that. That's not Australian.
Yeah, but if you watch any Aussie film she's been in, Two Hands or Takeaway or whatever, that's Kate Blanchett.
Yes, I know. Yeah,
Listen to her
I
talk.
don't know what movies.
Listen to her talk, very distinct. But if you listen to Rose Byrne in any Aussie film, fuck off. What are you talking about? But, if you,
okay.
but like if you watch Kate Blanchett or anything, or Guy Pearce, you know Guy Pearce. Fuck you.
I'm really bad with actor names, man.
Oh yeah, but like these people are fucking.
And you don't like it. So, what would you prefer to portray yourself as?
The way I'm talking now.
Yeah. which is more proper than the Bogan Aussie, but it's nowhere close to British.
Yeah, no.
I think the more proper Australian sounds really good.
So do I. I agree. And if look, here's Kate Blanchett. Ready? Here's Hugh Jackman.
Hold up.
There's not a lot of doing, but a lot of letting go, because I think a lot of it's natural. And
Yes.
He has a very
Hugh
Aussie,
Jackman
he
is a
he
very...
has a super Aussie fucking.
but it's still a
Right.
bit more proper than a Bogan.
Listen to this.
understanding yourself is
Hugh Jackman.
having
Hugh
enough
Jackman.
confidence.
Massive.
Kate
I think
Blanchett.
that what you do as an actor is you pocket away throughout the course of your day, your week, your month, your year, physical mannerisms or observances you make about people.
Physical mannerisms, not physical mannerisms.
No,
physical
but-
mannerisms, dude.
But what else can you call that? That's not British.
No, that's Australian.
That's 100% Australian.
yeah, that's
But
that's
we-
an Aussie who's done speech. Listen to this.
But we've occupied that beautiful space between American, where we don't need to roll our R's, and British. We've occupied that space, and the closer you get towards British, the more proper it probably sounds. But
Well,
then
yes.
we've got a third dimension of the Bogan part of it that's not on either side.
Kate Blanchett has obviously done speech. And this is the thing. You can do speech lessons and refine your speech, but it doesn't mean you lose your Australian. It just cleans it up.
Yeah.
Imagine it's like
More
a dirty car.
enunciated.
Exactly.
It's that guy. Is that? He's a popular guy on Instagram and TikTok as well. I think the Asian guy with the blonde comb over hair, and he does speeches and he talks about enunciating your words and practicing doing big mouth movements.
Well, it's true. And that's what we were taught when I was in acting school, big mouth movements, because I usually talk like this. Like I grew up talking like, fuck man, I don't fucking know what we're doing here. But
we
instead
doing
you're
here?
like, fuck man, I don't know what we're doing here. You know, it's a bit I sound a bit more
I love how
pronunciated.
everything has a swear word in it too.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here, guys. Guys, should we go home soon? Who's going to drive us? If I have another beer, I cannot drive.
Speak-
We would never say
Op-
cannot.
Open up your mouth like that,
Cannot.
but not.
Can't.
But just speak
Can't.
normally. Like, hey Phil, how was your day today?
Hey, can't.
Can't.
Can't. Right? That's British. Can't. Like
can't.
it's so subtle. Like, well, it's not subtle with the American one. Can't. There's literally such a big difference between can't,
Do you want to know the difference
Can't,
between Australians
can't.
and Americans?
can't. Like it's in the middle. Can't.
I'll tell you the difference between Australians and Americans. And here's one thing they tried to breed. Here's one thing
Breed.
they try to like destroy from our vocabulary in acting school. Australians inflect at the end, if you notice. Oh man, I don't know what is he actually doing that?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? We,
you know what,
we
though?
inflect, and they taught us to get rid of that.
I
But
agree
American-
with that though.
So when we Italians do it, everyone maybe British do it as well. But when we speak, we go low to high. Oh man, I don't really think we should do that, eh? But Americans do the opposite. Hey, I think we should get out of here. They go, I don't really want you to do that. But we go, I don't really want you to do that. I don't really want you to do that.
yeah.
So we're yeah, but that's one thing they teach you is like, do not inflect. That's so
I
Australian.
kind of agree with that though, because the high inflection at the end makes you sound unsure.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Americans are very sure of themselves.
Very.
Exact. Dude, good observation.
Hey, land of opportunity. Like they're all very much there to get something
Assert
done.
their dominance, yeah.
They're getting something done, and they believe. That's
Exactly.
a thing.
You have
in
to
America,
believe.
you believe that you are capable of doing something. Like
Yeah.
they're like, I'm gonna start a business. Whereas we're like, I'm gonna start a business. That's very extreme.
It's
but
funny, like, I don't know, maybe if it's always interesting if Australia had more densely populated areas in the center, if we had like forestation and grass, if the center of Australia wasn't desert, we could populate it, dude. Australia would have a high population. We'd have like America style population, or maybe larger. Larger than China or
well,
Russia.
the area of Australia is very big.
Yeah.
If you compare that to North America, we could have a lot of states.
Isn't
if
Australia
we
the
divided
largest
up the
continent?
minute?
It'd be Europe or something, wouldn't it?
It's Australia is the largest island continent that is
continent.
one country.
Yeah.
Nothing else is one country. Like there's big blobs of land, but they're
Connected.
divided into different countries.
Yeah,
we are
so-
one country that's
There you
just
go.
this.
Yeah, but I imagine because that's the thing with Americans is like Americans have great facilities, so obviously their athletes and things like that are really good. But I feel like if we had if we had more money like American infrastructure and stuff, and we'd have more money to pay for things and really dedicate ourselves to things, we'd be the dominating country. You know?
Not even more. Well,
And
yes, more money.
It would be so competitive that we'd probably have that same mentality as Americans.
Yeah, but I was going to argue against the more money thing, but you're absolutely right. It's more money because of way more people. If we
Totally.
had way more people on this continent, we'd be producing way more stuff,
Yeah.
creating way more things,
Yeah.
and therefore having a larger money pool
Yeah.
of economy.
If you think about it, there's so many Americans that they're having to fight for what they want, and we would be the same. What the fuck am I saying? No,
We would
sorry,
be
that's
the
right.
same.
What I'm saying is, if you look at America, the things they put their most money in is the things that make money.
Yeah.
So the best thing in America is like athletes. Athletes is like the biggest thing in America. Like since Jordan, like Jordan became like a universal name on this planet, right?
Is that a result of the population though? Because there's so many
No,
people.
God no, God no.
But there's so many people, so there's so many more athletes. Because don't
But the
people
best
go
for the
there
best
to
come to-
train? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like, and people come to our like. Sometimes you watch the Olympics and like there'll be like a Russian or like a native-born Russian or a native-born Chinese person on the Australian, or like a Ugandan or like a someone
Depends
from
on
Africa.
the sport, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
because
yeah.
Australia is really good at like swimming and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're-
exactly.
we
But, like-
dominate that.
Like we had a great track, like a 100-meter race or something like that. And an African person with the Australian colours, Sudanese or something, and it was just like fuck yeah, like. They've obviously migrated to Australia.
They
and
come
wanna
to the
compete.
opportunity because
Yeah.
they're like, there is better training here.
Yeah.
They've got the genes and the skill and the
Yeah.
and the ability in their body.
And this country has offered them the chance. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we don't have this kind of chance back in fucking wherever I'm from, you know? So it's
And
like,
that's just
and they rep
amplified.
us, and that's great. Like,
Yeah.
they're not going to be like, oh, they're not going to turn their backs and be like, oh, no, I've been here for 5 years and I've trained with you guys, but I'm actually going to go represent Zimbabwe. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going to represent Australia.
Yeah.
I'm Australian now, motherfucker, you know?
And that's amplified in America in other fields. Like people come to America to build their skills and career and then they become American.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Boom. He would never have become what he became if he just stayed in Austria.
Exactly.
The
The dude became the mayor of one of the most popular
Dude.
states in all of the world.
just the way that he even came to America is wild. There's a movie on it now about like the
Flugen.
the
I think
body
it's
the
called.
bodybuilding.
What's it called? The trial of Flugen?
No, it's it's literally a movie about the people that invented Mr. Olympia, the competition, and the guy
That was
that
the bloke.
invented it in America. He was literally doing sketches of what he wanted the perfect physique to look like. And he then saw a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger, this Austrian dude, and apparently it looked almost exactly like the sketch he was doing out of his mind of what the perfect physique should look like. And so he tracked him down to bring him to America. And apparently the only thing he was lacking was legs.
Really?
He made him train legs hard to
Arnie's legs.
bulk up his legs
Wow.
to match the physique that he wanted. The upper body was apparently spot on to what he was sketching, but the legs needed to catch up.
Fuck, that's amazing. I see a thing all the time on TikTok. It's like people will go around gyms and be like, "Hey, are you natty?" And they're like,
Oh,
People
it's
like-
the stupidest online thing.
people are honest about it. They're like, "No, I'm not. I'm
well,
not
that's
Natty's-
how it should be.
For those not understanding, natty means natural. Are you taking like steroids or growth hormones or anything? But, like,
Performance enhancing drugs.
yeah, but a lot of them like
PEDs, but like,
like-
where do you draw the line when you're calling it performance enhancing drugs? Like, creatine, is that a performance enhancing drugs? Pre-workout, it's enhancing your performance. No, we should be talking
hard
intervenal
drugs.
steroids. But then there is a fine line now. Like there's lots of people taking SARMs, which is like oral.
Psalms, yeah. Psalms
So,
is
I
pretty
don't know.
gnarly too. Yeah.
Psalms is apparently pretty gnarly and pretty, as far as I know, pretty well, it's been around for years now, but it was like when it was first coming out, I was like, it's pretty untested. What are you doing there? I don't know. What is it doing to your liver? Who knows?
It's rotting it.
Anyway, we should wrap it up.
Yeah, dude,
On
this has
Arnold
been a
Schwarzenegger.
weird podcast.
It's
hasn't
very
it?
weird. Woo.
Sorry if my story was a bit too long. I was just,
Hey, we kept circling back. What's up?
I had to get it out of the way because it was just like a perfect ideal moment, you know.
It was stuck in there.
Anyways,
Right,
hey,
everybody.
go watch Top Gun Maverick, everyone. It's
Oh
great
yeah, I
film.
just watched Top Gun Maverick. Pretty good. Very good. Wasn't a fan of the first one. Not much at all. But that one, very good film. Very intense. I like it.
Tune in.